Vice President of the country, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has also cast his vote on the island in Lagos. Then we also understand that there have been many cases of card reader malfunction, including where the APC candidates of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, was billed or scheduled to vote. Those are some of the instances we're having right now. We're hoping that the card reader malfunction situation will not mar this election in ways that will be so substantial. But meanwhile, let me talk with Barrister Ede Asenogwa. I have no doubt that you have passionately followed developments as part of the build-up to this election. There are several litigation against, between political parties, amongst political parties and INEC. All of these further make the process dramatic and sort of creates a drag for us, not just for the political parties and for INEC, but also for Nigeria as a country, and then overall for the process itself. Is this something we should feel comfortable about?
Well, certainly it ought not to be so. Why do people resort to litigation? It is grievance.
Okay.
If I'm not aggrieved by a process, why will I go to court? And that is why I have continued to maintain, whether at the political party level, internally, in other words, primary elections and all of that, or inter-parties, elections must not only be free, fair, credible, transparent, it must be seen by all, especially the participants, as free, fair, credible, and transparent. If I contest an election with Prof here, for instance, and all the staffers of ITV, they come to cast their vote, and I see clearly that everybody voted for him, I will congratulate him and go home. But a situation where all forms of manipulative tendencies are displayed, either by way of threats. Oh, you are my very close friend. Some people say, oh, it's you. We have done elections. So people will tell you, it's you. Don't know. And you are confident. But all of a sudden, the man who probably didn't campaign, who didn't come to tell you what he's going to do for you, who didn't come to tell you what the problems he has identified are, comes a day to election, or even on election day, and he gives you 5,000 naira. And at the end of the day, he is declared winner. I will be aggrieved. So nobody wakes up without a complaint, without a grievance, and begins to go to court. So we can correct all of that. It's funny that I am the one saying this as a lawyer, because, you know, we benefit from most of these processes. But Nigeria is bigger and greater than all of us put together. And so if we get it right, litigations will reduce. President Goodluck Jonathan did not go to court. Why? He sat as president. He conducted the election. And don't forget, during his time, these elections that we conducted in Anambra, I think Edo, Ondo, and some of these individual states where elections held, the elections came out and it was acclaimed to be free, fair, credible. And you find that each one was an improvement over the other until we came to 2015. And the man accepted the results and he went home. So what is causing all of these grievances? What is causing all of this litigation? It is manipulation, desperation, either within the political party. Some others say, oh, this man, I don't like his face, he will never be a candidate of this political party. And in some cases, even where he has won the primaries, his name is dropped. And so the man goes to court. Sometimes 24 hours, 48 hours to the election, they now say, oh, that person is not supposed to be the candidate. You are the candidate. Damage has already been done, yes, because you have lost grounds. So these are the issues. We will only begin to see reduction in litigation if the processes are transparent, they are clear, they are honest. People will not go to court. Some persons have pointed accusing fingers at the judiciary for some of the abnormality that we have come to see in the electoral process. Yes. This is like making you a judge in your own cause. But you're a lawyer, so you should have a better handle on these issues. Do they have any basis to come to that conclusion, to say part of the problem we're dealing with as far as this electoral process is concerned is as a result of the role of the judiciary, maybe deficiency on the part of the judiciary? Well, I will not just say straight away that they may not be correct. Neither will I say that they are absolutely correct.
Okay. Now we're just going to make you hold your breath a little while we take this call quickly. Patience, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Just go ahead and tell us what you are covering and help us understand some of the issues that are happening there.
There's nothing much. I'm covering INEC with the Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Emmanuel Hart, this morning. And we went around some voting centers and in Eredo Ward 2, we was at the Jabida Primary School in Eredo Ward 2. We 3 to 5, where we monitored the whole process. There was no complaint, either on card readers or blank leadership. Where they were in the Jabida Primary School with 6 and 7. There was no complaint, just as the man complained of police harassment. When we were coming to voting center this morning, that police were harassing them not to get to their feeling address the only problem that the resident encounter. Then in the primary school, the 12 in Eredo, in 12 to 30, there was no complaint. But just that the resident electoral commissioner was complaining of there seems to be a lot of apathy votes, and the man was not impressed. When he interviewed him, he said he was very impressed with the voting process, especially the turnout of voters at the polling unit.
Okay. Okay, that's so much for your report. Thank you. We appreciate it.
They didn't vote. They didn't.
Okay, so we can hear you all right, Patience. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yesterday that we have 24 constituency coalition officers who also serve as returning officers in all the 192 wards in the state. Yeah.
Okay. The man is back. From what you understand, based on your interaction with him so far today, does he have any sense of the fact that there are areas in these states where elections have not commenced, at least up until noon? For example, because they didn't have officers on the ground, materials were not available.
No, there was no complaint that came to him.
So he didn't raise any issue like that?
No.
Okay. I'm asking you that because somebody had talked about how that somewhere in Oriomo, there were no men on the ground, materials for the election were not available. That's okay, Patience. Thank you for your contribution. As we get all of these reports put together going forward, we will also let you have all of them. Hopefully, in the course of today, the Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Emmanuel Hart, will respond to these issues of cases where we are told so far elections, or voting rather, has not commenced. Barrister Idea Senokwan, you were saying
I was saying that, well, they may not be entirely wrong, neither will I say that they are entirely right, that the judiciary may have, at one time or the other,
yes,
not seem to be, how do I put it now, straight. The truth is, there are 3 arms of government in this country.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those 3 arms quickly, but we are told now, real time, that Omowa Jonah reporting live for us from Ondo State, that's southwest of Nigeria. Case of vote buying in Christ Anglican Primary School is Salu in Dare, Ward 8, Units 1 and 2. Let's get the sounds to that. And that was Omowa Jonah live for us on the ground from Ondo State, southwest of Nigeria, precisely from Christ Anglican Primary School, Isalu in Dare Ward 8, Units 1 and 2, reporting an alleged case of vote buying from that voting center. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring you more reporting from that part of the country in the course of the exercise today. But you were talking about three arms of government.
Three arms of government, yeah,
right.
The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. I make bold to say that in a system like ours, Nigerian system, the judiciary still remains the least corrupt. I make bold to say
by what indices do we determine that?
In the indices of the fact that you find that the chances are that you can become a judge and you retire and probably do not still have a house of your own.
Okay.
You cannot be a councillor for 3 years and not come out very wealthy.
Big hotels in Jerry.
With hotels and all of that. That is to say, I'm not saying that there are not cases of corruption in the judiciary.
Okay.
This same judiciary, and we have been working on it and hammering on it, they are being influenced by politicians and the political class in their desperation.
Does that justify it?
No, it does not. It does not. That's why we are saying that we are not denying the fact that there are a few bad eggs in the judicial system.
Okay.
Who have gone to electoral tribunals and who have made so much money from the electoral process because they have been compromised. The truth is, many of them has also been axed. They've been sacked. They've been dismissed with ignominy. So it's a matter of choice, because how do we get the judges? Are they from, is it Jupiter they call it now, or Mars? They are from Nigeria. We have a system that is already corrupt. We have issues with the ways judges are appointed.
So we're going to take a report. Now I'm going to push that conversation a bit further in a bit, because you're talking about the bench now. We're going to come to the bar in a bit, but let's see what Deborah Gbekun has for us from where she has spoken with Patrick Osaime, and he commented on the turnout of voters at Georgida Primary School. Let's see that clip.
Georgida Primary. So, sir, what you want to tell us? How is the exercise in Georgida Primary School?
Well, you can see the place is calm and peaceful. There are police officers here, security agents, making the place peaceful and calm. But you can see that the turnout is very low, very, very low. You know, normally people lose interest after one election, you know, because they believe that you know, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening, and but generally I think the turnout is very low. The turnout is very low, and for some reason the Nigerians just refuse to come out to vote today. But we'll see what happens. But the most important thing is that the place is calm and peaceful, and a lot of security agents here, and we hope that it continues to be calm throughout the day, and at the end of the day we'll see what happens. But I'm happy with the calmness of the place and the presence of security parties and people doing their thing, voting the way they want to go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And that was Patrick Osaime speaking from Georgida Primary School here in Oedo local government area of Edo State. For the records, Patrick Osaime is a former member of Edo State House of Assembly. Just along that line, Fosa Wangwe, also from Oedo, but precisely Exotic Primary School. Okay, this is not Oedo, this is away from Oedo. We should establish that Exotic Primary School, Udo, Ward 10. He's telling us that that area, that part, actually recorded low turnout. Let's just have a feel of it watching this clip. It's interesting how some of these, I mean, I was just going to say it's interesting how some of these areas have been recording low turnout, which of course discussants here have been trying to help us beat into perspective, giving us reasons why you have these developments. We'll continue to keep you abreast of these issues as they come up, particularly across all of the polling units with respect to the 2019 general election that's taking place today. I was just going to talk to you again now, Barrister Eddie Asenokwa, about the role of lawyers in particular, not just the judiciary as a whole. We've heard cases of how that electioneering cycle like this, it's like Christmas for Lawyers, exactly. This is when they go to politicians and convince them they have good cases in court, especially for those who have lost, even when they actually do not, because the process itself is cash cow for so many people, including lawyers like yourself. What would be your response to that?
Yes, after the electionary process is bonanza period for politicians. Those whom you see and you say, what do you do for a living, or what's your profession? Say, I'm a politician.
Right.
For me, that's another name for joblessness. They make money during this period. You come and see leaders, you give them money, you want to mobilize people that you don't have or you don't have control over and all of that. After that process, of course, those that are going to conduct the exercise, they also make their money. And then you go beyond that process. It's now time to see whether the election parties are aggrieved or not. And when, like I said, once there is grievance, anybody is aggrieved, the next thing you say, oh, you want to go to court? Oh, you want to go to court? The next person you want to look for is a lawyer. So, yes, lawyers make money from election cases because they are the highest paying cases in Nigeria today, I can assure you. If you are fortunate enough to do one election petition, particularly where you are representing a governor, sitting governor, a president, or you make money from it. There's no doubt about that. But that is not even a problem in itself. It is wrong for a lawyer to come and tell you that you have a good case, let me go to court for you. First, that will amount to soliciting, which our rules forbid. And second, why will you wait for me to be the one to tell you that and even if I do that, it's not binding on you to accept to say, oh, I want to go to court. You don't want to go to court, you don't want to go to court. If you are convinced that you were not cheated, you won't go to court. Now, assuming you even go to court, that is where, for me, I feel the judiciary is more in focus. If I bring a useless process, a useless case, the judiciary is there to check it. And some of the things we are even doing now is that we have seen instances where the courts will even award cost against the lawyer
for wasting its time.
Wasting his time, bringing a useless case before the court. We are getting to that process. So for me, I feel that the judiciary must be the standard bearer, must be the one to say, oh, what you have come with is frivolous, it's useless, you shouldn't have come. And for even misleading your client that you have brought to court, we are awarding so and so millions against you as a lawyer. We've seen those things happen in the Supreme Court. So the point I am making, emphasis should be more on the judiciary. In the process of putting up this panel, normally we want to, the judiciary want to look at them, their pedigree, who they are. They have cases of suspected, compromises and all of that in their area of primary assignment before they are appointed into electoral tribunals. We need to do all of that. But like I said, even Jesus Christ selected only 12 disciples. Jesus Christ, in all his, how do I put it now, majesty, in all his omniscience, omnipresence, and out of 12, he had a Judas. So there is no way we can look at a judiciary and say we will not have 1, 2, 10 bad eggs. So if we say out of every 12 there is a Judas, so if we have 200, we should know the volume of Judas that will be present in that system. But it must be work in progress. If we identify them, we put them out of the system. So the judiciary must continue to stand. And I tell you, but for the judiciary, our democracy will not even be where it is now. Because whether we like it or not, there are still clear cases of justice being achieved.
I'm going to allow Banefo add to that and then help us stretch the narrative a bit further. But in the meantime, Wellington Akodaja is reporting live for us. He's talking about very low turnout of voters at Wabaye College, that's Ologbo Ward 10, units 14 and 15. Thank you, Wellington, for that update you've sent to us. Let's quickly see that now. That's the clip on air. Okay, that's from Ologbo Ward 10. There you have units 14 and 15. Wellington is on the ground there trying to bring us up to speed as to what exactly is happening at that point where voting is going on. One thing we've seen that's a bit universal in a sense, lately, today in particular, is a low turnout of voters, and we've been trying to make sense, beat all of this into context in the course of our discussion here, because basically a lot of persons have said it was expected, which means essentially they are not surprised that we are recording this very significant decrease, as it were, in turnouts of voters. I was going to ask you, Barrister Mbanefo, about these electoral reforms that we keep talking about. I mean, more than ever before, lately, we've heard people, including lawyers, talk about the need for us to reform our electoral process. Of course, we've talked about how that amendments had been proposed, which the president evidently did not assent to, and he gave reasons why he did not assent to it. Some analysts and watchers of the political space have said that the reason, I mean, most times you find out those who clamor for reforms in the electoral process are those who are not in power. By the time they get into power, the song changes automatically. Why do we have that development? Is it part of the so-called political interest that we've come to know?
I don't agree with that analogy. See, the black man appears to be allergic to the democratic process because of our value system. The black man misplaces priorities. The black man doesn't appear to see the future. The black man doesn't seem to build for the future. The black man appears to have respect for incoming generations. As a matter of fact, any reasonable person should do everything he can to ensure that he keeps, evolving, he keeps moving from where he is to a better place. Now, the judiciary, as it were, may play their role very, very, very well. The another issue is that the man at the helm of affairs is ready to respect and obey court orders, and is also ready to follow due process in doing things, and is also ready to respect separation of powers. And so, if the man who is in charge is not ready to do all that, then whatever input the judiciary is making goes to nothing. We have seen in this country where the judiciary, the courts, has granted bail to a very, very senior citizen, and the government refused to allow the man to go home. There was a situation whereby a highly placed religious leader was also granted bail by the court, and the government in power refused to allow the man to go home. In that, we have also seen this system whereby the government in power has tried to invade the privacy of National Assembly. And the government in power closed their face to it and pretended as if they are not those who give out instructions. And so the point I want to make here is that making is this, that no matter how good the judiciary is, if the pronouncement of the judiciary is not obeyed by the government in power, then it makes the judiciary to be handicapped.
Let's quickly take this, and you're going to have to just go further with that narrative. Hello, good afternoon. You say your name is Franklin Chidera from Benin City. In your ward, in your Unit 12 in Ikoba, Oha, you say people didn't come out at all because they are not happy about what happened at the last election. You say they are saying after voting, their votes will not be counted. Okay, those are two different issues. It is one thing for your vote to be counted. It is another thing whether your vote will count. Most times, people say votes are actually counted. In fact, in some cases, right there in their presence. But ultimately, they claim that those votes do not count. But what you're saying is we can attribute largely the low turnout of voters to the fact that they're losing confidence in the process. They are saying there's no need, since they believe that their votes will not count. We will address that issue as we make progress with this conversation. But let's allow Barrister Mbanefo to finish quickly.
Yeah, so I don't believe that those who are in power, when they get to power, they don't appear to, support reforms, legal reforms. The mindset of legal reforms is really how to shape the society, and of course how to make a society a better place.
Right.
You know, how to strengthen society. So a reasonable politician who is in power should be able to look at laws made by the National Assembly. If the contents of that law is to enhance humanity,
right,
it behoves on him to, you know, give assent to such a law. You know, and it is only where he discovers that the law, as it were, the contents is not to improve humanity, then you can say, okay, you can send it back to the National Assembly and say, I want you to look at this area, look at this area, and bring it back to us. But not refusing to assent at all. Or refusing to say, make your input and say, these are areas we are quarreling with. But of course, a government that needs to be respected within the Committee of Nations must be a government that have respect for separation of powers. A government that have respect for the orders made by the judiciary. A government that has respect for human rights of people. A government that have respect for people's welfare. You know, you cannot presume yourself, you know, as a democratic president when you have no respect for rule of law.
We need to talk about all of this a lot, because just last Thursday, 2 days behind us now, I was talking with a group of brilliant gentlemen like yourselves, and one of the issues I raised before them was, how come the president is said to be the leader of the political party, of his party at the federal level, and then we come to the state level, the governor is said to be the de facto leader of the party, whereas there's a state chairman for the party. Of course, there's a national chairman as well for the party. But let me talk to you quickly now, Prof.
And I wanted to
add to what he just said.
Yeah, the truth about it is that although I'm not a lawyer,
right,
but as an observer of events, I have a point about this to state here. But the truth is that I don't know what would have happened if this was when Muhammad, Jesus Christ, and many other prophets ministered. The truth about it is that the system, our system, has a problem. There is no order in our system. And so it is difficult for anybody to operate. Our legal gentlemen on this panel, of course, have made effort to want to, shield what, they profess. It is understandable. But the truth about it is that it's unlikely that anybody can function optimally in this country because of the system. The time came, somebody came up at it and cried, Godfather, Godfather, and all that. At the end of the day, he himself has now become an ultimate Godfather. He talked about power of darkness in Nigeria. He is almost now a priest of darkness in this country. And so we talked about it. A monster was in the making. At a point, I was with Philip on this platform, and I thought that a monster was in the making in Edo State. The monster has not taken root, and we are not saying what is going on. In such a country, how easy is it going to be? Just to posit here that I'm sure that many of election observers are not going so many places. In Ekmon, for instance, now, the driver to Obaseki, a driver went to went to a village with military men and I have threatened people since yesterday night on the election.
We don't have that report here. No, when we have it, we are going to put it in context so we get it exactly. So, but gentlemen, in all of this, we must realize that we're looking at all of the issues that affect the election. Of course, I was going to talk about the rule of law, because that's also part of the conversation, which of course we cannot alienate from this interaction we're having on this program. But so far, this is where we want to quickly take a break. Then we'll push this discussion further after this break. But I would love to thank very specially Professor Julius Iyasele, is the chairman of ASU Uniben chapter. Then next to him is Barrister Ede Yasenogwa, former chairman of NBA Benin branch. And then we have a legal practitioner next to him as well, Barrister Mbanefo Alakwe is one of the persons who have also talked about all of these issues on the program with us this afternoon, right from morning actually, into this lunch period. We want to thank you, gentlemen, especially. We do appreciate it. We'll continue our discussion right here on Nigeria Decides from our live studio and, of course, on our radio, just so we can bring you up to speed as to how much of progress we're making regarding this round of elections. And we at Mofwegbe, do stay with us on independent television and radio.